Are we ready to go, Jenny?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jenny.
So that's Jenny that you would normally, you get lots of information from Jenny. So when we bombard you with stuff, we'll blame Jenny, but we don't. She's great. She's a good member to our team that's joined us this year. So thanks to everybody for joining us this morning, and welcome. I think there could be a few new people on here that I haven't met before. So seems like I've been here forever, but it's nice to see some new faces on there, and hope that we can at least introduce you to the Community Citizen of the Year Awards and get some information out of it and answer some of your questions, hopefully. Thanks to all of those councils, all of you, for your continuing involvement in the program. We think it's important that we recognise people in their own communities, and it's a great opportunity for you and your shire presidents and mayors to stand up there and provide that face-to-face recognition on the day within their own communities, and recognise and thank them for the work that they do. And the Community Citizen of the Year Awards is a great way to do that. Just before we start going through, I've got a PowerPoint to share with you and some information. We are in the process of sending out the membership renewals, which the beginning of the process for engaging with the Community Citizen of the Year Awards. Some of you have asked for those invoices and the information to be sent directly to you, or you've provided particular names, but most will go to the CEO. So just be aware that they're coming out there, and with plenty of time for us to be able to get everybody signed up and active on the website. So watch out for those. They'll be coming out from us shortly. I think they've already begun going out, haven't they, Jenny? Yes. Yeah.
It will starting from the end of this week.
The end of this week. Okay. So they'll be coming out shortly, which is great. And so I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. Hang on, where did I do that? Here you go, there's my mouse. Share my screen. I'll share my screen and start with the PowerPoint. So that's us. That's the Community Citizen of the Year Awards. And just a few highlights from this year, that the fact that it is a true grassroots program, and it was the 25th anniversary. And we're great to have so many councils involved in that. This year was particularly taxing, or it was an issue for us all with the COVID situation, but everybody seemed to get around that pretty well. It was a bit of extra work for all of us, trying to make sure that it was COVID safe. We hope that those of you that applied for grants got what you needed and were able to purchase some new equipment that will be useful going forward. So that was a great way that we could still continue and recognise Australia Day. That's just a little bit of a roundup of what happened. 75, that's pretty steady. It's usually it's between 74, 70, 76 councils that participate each year, and through a number of locations. Some of you have got very large locations, and so we do that in different locations. And can't all drive down the road for 20 minutes and get to the spot where the awards are happening. So we try and help with that wherever we can. And this year nominations were up by 100, which is fantastic. Overall, we recognise that nominations are still an issue for a lot of people. And so we'll try and address that as we're going through. But it's a pretty good response to that, and numbers were up as well of the number of awards that were presented resulting from those nominations. So, just a little bit of information on the support that we will provide as we go through. We'll continue with the newsletters and updates. The little tips that we had throughout the process. If you feel you're on top of it, don't read it. Don't think we're not trying to spam you. We're trying to help. And if there's something that you need information for as we go along, you know, let us know, and we'll include that in the tips that we provide to people. And excuse me, I'm reading my notes so that I don't miss anything. We have the website, and we're really happy that in some of the work that we're doing now with the website for all of you to get better access to things. There's some improvements that we're adding in this year to the website, and one of those is that when your council signs up, and if you're the nominated person to be the coordinator, you'll receive an access code for direct access into the back end of the website, so that you'll be able to keep a check on your own nominations. You won't be able to see everybody else's, but you'll be able to see your own from your own council. So we'll provide that to you. That's getting developed at the moment, and it should be up and running by the time, certainly the 1st of July. That's our target, to have it happening for that. So as you register, you'll get a login, and then you'll be able to see those nominations. It's a really good thing if you can, throughout the process, if you can just keep an eye on those, because invariably sometimes people will nominate someone and they're in the wrong area. You know, they might nominate somebody because they live in a certain area, but then when it comes to the selection part, we do have a few instances where people say, oh, actually, we've just looked at these now, and this guy really should be in a different council. And so we forward it on to that council, and then too late, they've already done their selections, and then that person can't be. So, you know, if you just keep an eye on those nominations, so just a quick flick through to say, oh, actually, I don't think, you know, he might live here, but the work they do is better suited to a different area. So having access to the back end of the website will help with that. Okay, now the nominations, that's the forms, everything. We're trying, obviously, to try and keep everybody to online where possible, but there will be downloadable options for people to do that. But it's much easier for all of us, I think, to keep a tab on things if we can do it through the website. We'll continue with, I think I've gone too far. Yeah, just a second. I think I've skipped something. Just bear with me. Sorry, I had to. Thought I was all organised, and now I'm not. There is oh, that's okay. That's because I moved it. No, that's why it's not there. Sorry, I'm now floundering. Just 1 second. And let's go back to here. And share the screen again. Sorry. Now, can anybody see my screen? No. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Sorry about that. I moved things around this morning, and then my notes don't correspond with my PowerPoint. So what I want to thank you all for those that provided input to the survey the very short little survey that we did after the program this year. That was really useful, and we're taking on those comments, and some of those being that you know, amendments or improvements to the website. And we know that the nominations are really an issue, particularly in certain areas. So that's something that we will look at. We're addressing that now, but also we'll look for your input as well to that. And we might do that as we go through this morning. So the official date for nominations is the 1st of September. That's when they open. But as soon as that website has been upgraded and we've got the access to it, and you have access to it all, and your council has signed on to the membership, your council then that will be active on the website. So people will be able to nominate any time. Usually they can nominate throughout the year, and there's just a couple of months where we have to switch it all down and then renew it when when the councils sign up for next year. So anytime, probably from about the 1st of July, it'll be active. So people, you know, don't have to wait until the 1st of September to start promoting. any opportunity that you have between now and between the 1st of July onwards, then, you know, we start promoting it. We're in good discussions again. Channel 9 and 6PR WA Today are continuing with their support this year. They're looking at expanding some of the things that they're doing for us with possibly some news items, and we know that doesn't necessarily cover all of you in the different locations, but we will be able to share that information with you. We'll be able to put it on the website, share it on Facebook, and then you will be able to share that within your own councils. So, they're very engaged and very supportive, which is a great relationship to have with them. Oops, no, we don't want that. Now, these are the graphics that we've previously been running for and share with you. They're downloadable from the website, and you can copy them and share them, or from Facebook. They work okay, but we want to try, and this year, with the concerns about maybe not getting particularly young nominations, I think that's an issue for the majority of councils. And it's not just for this awards program, it's also for the Australian of the Year Awards program. So, you know, that it's yeah, it is an issue. It's not cool for kids. They don't necessarily think it's cool. They like getting the awards, but they don't necessarily like doing the nominating, or they're not necessarily encouraged, or they don't recognise, they don't look at that and think, oh yeah, that's for us. And so we'll look at doing some of those type of promotions that will be targeted at different age groups. So we'll let's have a look. We've been having a look around at some youth programs, that different types of awards. They're just some examples that we've looked at recently, and we'll probably look at trying to introduce something like that is going to focus or get the attention of younger people. And then we will also go out to some of those youth organisations and promote the awards so that they can consider as well. We partner with Volunteering WA and some other youth organisations that we are going to be able to share nominations with. There's a tick box on our website that says, can we share your nomination with others? And they're going to introduce a similar system so that the freedom, policy of people's information, we don't impinge on that, but we'll look at ways that we can access nominations from other programs. But I think if we can bring in some different look to some of those Facebook and social media posts, and maybe be more active on Instagram, where young people will be. We're looking at all those kinds of opportunities that we can do that. And as well as young people, we want to try and encourage diversity in the nominations. Now, in saying that, we want to try and make sure that people from all backgrounds feel the ability to nominate those that inspire them, or those that are doing great work in their communities. That doesn't mean that they have to be your recipients, but we're looking to making them feel like they can be part of this too, because there's a little bit of a maybe an idea or a feeling that this isn't for us. This is. But we want it to be for everybody, that everybody is part of the community, and so we will try and do that. So through some of these Facebook posts and social media posts as well. So and we encourage you to do the same. We'll go out to multicultural organisations and promote it to all of those on a statewide basis. But we don't always know your local people that are doing that great work. So, and that you're in touch with those people all the time through other things that you do, and so through volunteering awards and different things that are happening. So we encourage you to have this as front of mind as, hey, have you considered nominating them in these awards, which is a great way for people to feel like they're part of it. And I think a lot of the councils recognise their nominees as well, not necessarily all of them, but you might pick out some people that get their the appreciation awards, certificates, you know, and if they get something like that, it's fantastic. You know, it's a way to make everybody feel part of the community. So that's what we're doing in that spot. So this is some of the things that we've done last year and previous years, and we'll look at LinkedIn. So I don't know that LinkedIn's a great place for this, but we'll certainly push it out more in Instagram and Facebook, and we'll target those audiences. Excuse me, there is on the website, we've done a report which has you can download. It's I forget how many pages, but it's got all of the recipients listed in there. So you might find that useful. So it will something nice to have. It's got so all they're categorized, and we've selected some of the stories and put those highlighted some of their stories in there, which is a really nice thing for us to have. And you know, that's the first time that we've done it. So you know, each year everything gets better, and we'll. That was, I think we went out to the council, to all of the councils, and asked for input to, you know, if you can select some of your star recipients or whatever in a little story. These are the reasons why, so that we can try and promote them and use their stories throughout the year. Now, moving on, we've also got a gallery of photos. So the photos that you provide, they're on a Flickr gallery. All of these are accessible from the website. So the Community Citizen of the Year website, which is citizenshipawards.com.au, which you are mostly familiar with. And so it's a way that you can share with your own communities, hey, your photos up there, or whatever. You know, anything that helps support the program. We're trying to bring all of those things in. We did have a comment looking at the selections. These are the score sheets that we provide. You don't all use them because it's not compulsory, but they're useful. They don't, the categories that are in here don't necessarily correspond with the questions that are in the nominations. So they will this year. So we'll look at maybe changing some of the questions that are in the nominations on the website, so that you get better information from the nominators, and then we'll reflect that with these sheets, so that you know, it makes it a more streamlined process for you. But all, you know, it's all there for you to be able to use those different products and things that we provide. What I wanted to do mainly here is to get some feedback and information from all of you. And so I'm going to stop sharing that. Yeah, let me just stop. Actually, no, before I do that, I'm just going to tell you about one little thing, and then I'll stop sharing that. These are some of the programs and initiatives that we run, apart from Community Citizen of the Year, and they'll all provide opportunities for your Citizens of the Year to be involved, and people in your communities. We run forums that we run ourselves, but we also do them in conjunction with local councils. There's a picture up there that this one here, we just did a really successful one with the City of Coburn, with some speakers, great speakers from the Australian of the Year alumni. Sometimes we have Community Citizen of the Year winners in there, and so that's great opportunities there. Free to attend, but we do, Jackie, who is helping facilitate this today, she runs all of these different programs, and so she's a great one to contact. That's her email. That's her email that's on there. But you can find it out from me as well, or Jenny. And then we've got one coming up for Aboriginal cultural workshops. They sell out really quickly. I think Jackie told me there's about 3 or 4 seats left for that for the next one, which is next week. But that was an in-person event, but we do those online as well. And then some more online ones, which came about because of COVID, because we couldn't have in-person events, and they've proven really popular. So we're continuing with them. And that's our Lunch with Leaders. And so bring your own lunch, bring your own chair, and bring your own laptop, and we throw some people at you, and with very inspiring talks and opportunities for questions and answers. And we've got one coming up with the founder of Plastic Free July, who started it just with her own family, went on to with her friends, and now she's got, I can't remember, I don't know, 36 million people. I can't, more. I can't remember. It's a worldwide now initiative that people get behind and support. But so she's doing that one for us. And then in NAIDOC week, we've got our Senior Australian of the Year for WA and Australian of the Year, Richard Wally and Helen Milroy, both talking on that one. So they're free to join and contact me or Jenny afterwards. We will be able to stop sharing, and we'll be able to fill you in on how to get involved in those. But they're really great opportunities, and some, you know, PD opportunities, development. They're really great. You know, you can get together in a team and have your lunch together, and they're pretty good. They've all been really successful. So. Now, if I can, we're both going to be taking some notes here, and I'll try and answer whatever questions I can, and if I can't answer them, then I'll certainly get back to you. But do we have anyone with any questions about about the program that it's not necessarily, it might be new to the program, so you don't understand, and then maybe we can get people within the team to share some of their experiences. So if you want to ask questions. I think we've got a chat there. Someone has got something there. Is there a question? Oh, okay. That's somebody just telling me. Oh, Melanie. Hello, Melanie. No video or microphone, but I'm here. Go on you, Melanie. Okay. Any questions from anybody? Any comments apart from how great it is? Yeah. There's always opportunities to improve. Anybody? Crickets. Not getting anything much. Oh, there we go. Oh, Melanie, there you go. See, I woke Melanie up. Thanks for the ability to access the back end. Great. Yeah, we did have some issues with a couple of councils this year, and when people looked into it, and we had councils looking into it, and we think it was just. There were little glitches that come up. Sometimes local councils put in new firewalls or things that stop you accessing or receiving automated information. And so with that opportunity to be able to look at the back end, that's going to help. What we will also do is, as well as providing you at the time of the registration, as well as providing the login details for the website, we will send a test nomination through to you, so that it'll be a fake one that will just test your process, so that to know that you will receive them automatically. So when you receive them, we receive them. So if we receive one, you should be getting it. So we'll ask you at that time to say, yes, we've received it. So so that hopefully we'll get to those issues early on, rather than the week before the nominations close, and then all of a sudden you've got 20 nominations that you didn't know you had. So yeah, so there's a question there. Has anybody had any success in raising the number of youth nominations, and the best way, the ways that you might have done that, and some suggestions? I always find that schools are a good way, and if we get in early, because schools are really, teachers are busy, and we completely understand that. And so letting them know at the last minute is difficult. They haven't had time to think about it, but most schools would recognise somebody in one of their students or some of their students for the community work. They would have a P&C award or PNF award that will recognise community contributions of their youth, so that they should, have at least one nomination from a school.
And Marie, sorry, I've got a question and just something to add just on that about the schools. Definitely getting in early is I've found helpful with the schools, because like you say, they do usually have people in mind, but towards the end of the year, when you approach them, they've generally got other things to do. But one comment I did have, or question, is have many councils found that they've done it to target the youth nominations, because ours are really low here at Joondalup too. Have many councils done targeted paid social media campaigns or anything like that, or have you just done more organic stuff on social media to try and target the youth group there?
Okay. Has anybody got any response there to Amanda? We'll certainly target some this year, a little more than just, you know, a generic WA wide, or and we'll certainly look at doing those ourselves. But sometimes I think if you're doing local ones, you've got your network set up there, so hopefully you can share that. And we realise it's not necessarily you that manages your Facebook or social media accounts, but you know, if we can get in early and let them know that there'll be a number coming through, and you know, let us know if there are things that can't be shared because it's got the wrong image, or you know, let's see how we can try and help.
Yeah, because I think we've done like a lot of we've done organic posts in the past, but I think we'll look at doing more of a paid campaign and starting earlier this year, and especially in those youth nominations as well. Last year we actually had to sort of go out and look in our local paper at people that were doing some things that were really good in the community, and then kind of almost target people to approach them to nominate direct. So just in a roundabout way, we sort of went through our youth teams and our library teams that are working with those youth people and just sort of, you know, let them know about the campaign and encourage them to put forward a nomination, which we ended up having a winner last year from our youth category that had been heavily involved in getting some lighting installed at a local skate park. So it was that type of thing where she was actually doing work that involved the council, that we were able to get a nomination through, because that was the only one we had last year, the youth one.
Yeah, actually that's a good point, Amanda, because a lot of councils, you have youth programs and you have youth councils, or you know, and there are kids that are in there that are doing great work, and you are we certainly don't see it as a conflict that the council, you can put your own nominations in.
Yeah, we actually didn't nominate them ourselves. We actually just encouraged like the other community members that they're working with to say, hey, do you know about this great program? And we think such and such could be a possible candidate and that sort of thing. Because we didn't want to actually have that conflict that we're actually nominating. But by sort of working with our youth teams and our libraries teams and stuff like that, and I was wondering if any other councils, you know, reached out to other departments within their council to seek nominations as well, and if that was a good option as well.
Yeah. Has anybody got any feedback on that?
Yes, Anne-Marie, we do have a question from Natalie, and I think it's good to bring it up. And somebody suggested, I think Amanda, you said to get the nominations early. So somebody asked, how early?
Well, as soon as your council has signed in for the membership and we've got the confirmation of who the coordinator is, we can make you live on the website. Then from that moment on, you can start promoting locally, because then you don't want to promote and then people go to the website and it says, sorry, your council's not joined, not a part of the program yet, because the chances of them coming back are slim. And so the minute that you're live on the website, we've gone through that process of just checking that everybody receives the nominations and everything that we've gone through, then you can promote from then on. So I'd say mid July you'd be free to go on all of it.
Yeah. Also, there's also a comment. Is it possible for the nominators to receive a customized auto response message when they submit their nomination? Thanks, Sandra, for this feedback. I think we will look into generating an auto response for this. So thank you. Yeah,
I think that is a very short, thanks very much, or submitted, but we can do better. That's pretty poor. Let's see what we can do. Thanks, Jenny. Be on to that. How else have we got there?
And something from Kelsey. She suggested maybe
Yeah.
Auspire can help to organize more videos footage this year, because Kelsey, her council, they did a Nominate Now video, and it seemed to get them a few extra nominations for their council, which is great.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. Videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Video.
Great initiative there, Kelsey. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And if we can try and get some access, and we might need some help from some of you to get some of your, particularly the young people and those from multicultural backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, if we can get those and to talk about, just do some, we can do them on our phones. It doesn't have to be too fancy, but just let's see what we can do to do that. We're happy if we can to try and help with that, or we can even get them to do it selfie style on their own phones and let's see what we can do. We've done that with some of our other programs for a school program that we run, Aussie of the Month, and we've had a pretty good success in some of that. So if we come to you and ask, can you help us get in touch with somebody in your area? Let's see. And you possibly would probably much better than us. So you'd have a better understanding or a better idea of how some of those people would feel about doing that. Some people will say, "Oh, I'll never do that." And so, it's a waste of time asking them. Whereas, you say, "Oh, yeah, they'll do that, no problems." So, if you need some help in that, please contact us. But that's a really good thing for us to do. The video is good. Yeah. Now, something that we did last year, and we'll do it again this year, is that we went out to all previous nominees and nominators to encourage them to consider nominating again. And we got a pretty good response from that. So so we will do that again once we know that we can probably, we're kind of a little bit tired, is that we can only do those statewide blasts when we know everybody, or pretty much everybody is up and running, because we don't want people to get the sorry, that your council's not participating. So for us to do a statewide promotion on it, we need to have the majority of people signed up. And so the minute that we're close to that, then we'll start doing the statewide ones. We'll probably do a few, but the big mail out to previous nominators and nominees, we wouldn't probably do that until a little bit down the track. So but that's something certainly that we'll do, and we're putting together a database of other organisations that we can go to as well, like youth organisations, and but unfortunately it tends to go to the head office or the one or two key people in those organisations, and it doesn't necessarily get down to your local coordinators. So we're trying, but it depends who it lands with. So we need everybody's help to try and get to that. End of year. Okay, so the getting to schools. Anne made a comment and said that end of year is bad time for schools, and so if we can get into those early, it would be really good. There's Kelsey then said local AFL, netball or basketball, they might have some youth nominations. They also might, those kinds of organisations also have parents and other volunteers that are working in those areas. And schools are always, they've got people that do lunch runs and P&C and all those sorts of things. So there's more than just the students at those schools, and teachers go above and beyond. So there might be teachers, but we know they all work outside their hours, but that don't discount those people as well for the work that they are contributing to your communities. Okay, now there's a comment here about what there's 3. Can everybody see those comments, or is it just me? You can see them. Okay, thank you, Esperance. Yes, okay. this has happened in the past to others as well. You've got 3 youth nominated for one activity. You have a choice, I think, in that you can put them together and recognise the 3 for that youth category. And I think this can be done within your selection committee at the time when you're doing those discussions. So, and I think what works best for you, for your council at that time. If you've got 2 or 3 young people, they're working on something together, fine, recognise them together in the youth category, or move them into the active group category. If you don't have many youth, keep them in the youth. But certainly we can combine them and recognise them all as the one recipient, and they'll each get a certificate, but the certificates will have all of their names on, so that sometime in the future they won't necessarily be able to promote that they were the single recipient for that particular year. They'll have a recipient that'll have John, Jenny and Jeremy, and then everyone will get a certificate with their name first. So their own name will be the first name on the certificate, but it'll be recognised as in that category. But if certainly don't exclude anyone, or don't think, oh, this is too hard. Combine them together. So I think that's particularly if you think that what they did was worthy of being the recipient. Don't think, oh, because there's 3 of them, we'll just give them the recognition award. Give them the announce them as your winners, but we can combine them. So let's do that. It's great. It shows that there's more young people doing great things. So.
It's Shane Tobin from Esperance. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
And this is Ali. So Ali will be coordinating the program for us this year. She's taken over from Rebecca Steenor.
Okay.
In this space. My question is, with the nominations, we've sort of we've tackled it from the other end. We've sort of added another layer to the celebration side. But once we got the nominations, so we have a sundowner on the Friday night before Australia Day, and we invite all the nominees along to celebrate their achievements, and because we feel that everyone's a winner. And then after that, obviously on Australia Day, we have our official bit. So we've sort of built the prestige in it a bit, and these, to be honest, over the last couple of years, that's built almost more than the day itself, the celebration on the day itself. So everyone turns up, they're encouraged to bring their family members and that sort of stuff, and they all chat for about an hour and a half or so. We mention who got what, who's been nominated for what, and it's really seems to be building our nominations from that end. Rather than just having the one award on Australia Day that just focus pretty much on the winner, it seems. So that's just something that local governments might want to think about if they don't already do something similar.
That's fabulous. I'm moving to Esperance.
And the other thing is we have the odd person, as you would all know, that don't particularly want to be part of the Australia Day celebrations on that day for their personal reasons. So we found that a few people that are in that boat have come to the sundowner still, and haven't turned up on the day itself. So we're still still giving them an opportunity to get recognised.
Yeah, sure. And I think that's an issue particularly for young people, is the date. And until that's, and each year we with all the messaging nationally that we do, it's an issue, and it's something that we are all trying to address, and that we are respectful in the way that we recognise Australia Day. Some people don't see it as a day of celebration, but it's our national day. It's what we have, and so we try and encourage people to do it the best way they possibly can, to be as inclusive as possible. And so if that means that you have a moment of silence, or you recognise what's happened, the history of Australia and Australia Day, and then all come together and then celebrate afterwards. So I think it's important that we all try and do that, and I'm sure that everybody does. But Acknowledging those issues on the day is certainly not a bad thing to do. But that's a really great way as well of giving those people, we have people, for instance, we've got our Australia Day Ambassador program, which goes wider than Australia Day now. And we have them speak at some of those community forums that I highlighted before. And they're ambassadors, they love everything that we do. They love the way that all of our programs are about connecting communities and recognising communities, but making people feel part of being Australian. But they can't do Australia Day. It doesn't resonate, and that's okay. It's fine. They're still great role models. They just won't go out on Australia Day, but they might come to your sundowner.
The sundown, it's really worked, and we've roughly around 15 nominations sort of across the board. And we invite the councillors and all that sort of stuff. So just make them feel special for a short period of time. So it's and then obviously a couple of days later we have the official bit. So yeah, something to think about for others. Yeah,
that's really good. Just something, and we will try and bring this into some of the promotions that we do as well. Just recently at the City of Coburn community. Civics and Citizenship Workshop, we asked the question of the 3 speakers there, because they were all award winners through Australian of the Year awards or other awards, even outside our own. And we asked them what was the value in the award program to them. And so some of their responses were really valuable to us, and about not only recognition, but the opportunity to speak about that more in public, or have it recognised on a public forum. Young people that will get recognised, and a little bit will be said about what it is that they're recognised for, to have that recognition of the work they found really important. So we'll try and include that in some of the messaging, but it's good information that we'll include in the toolkit as well, so that you can all refer to that toolkit. If anybody's got any ideas of information that we can put in that as well, that you think it is worthy of sharing, then we will certainly look at putting that in. So, because it's a working document for everyone to be able to refer to. So I don't know how many people used it. It took us a long time to put it together. So I hope some did.
Anne-Marie,
yes.
I do have a question from Anne. She said, on the day, how do people manage nominees and winners? They usually bring them all on stage and give them all the nominee award and then announce winner. Has anyone got any idea on how to streamline this, please? So I think it's open for discussion.
Sure. Any comments?
I'll jump in. We don't invite all of our nominees because we have a really large event on Australia Day, and we wouldn't have enough seating under our marquee for all the nominees. We only invite our winners, and they get to bring some guests with them. So to all the nominees that weren't successful, we write them a letter from the mayor, which is just thanking them for their contribution and stuff like that. We don't actually have all the nominees up.
Okay, that's probably a different situation for you, Amanda, and Joondalup than others out in the more regional areas where. Who's talking?
Sorry, I was just going to say we normally read out all the nominees at the Australia Day ceremony, but then announce the winners, and only the winners come onto stage to get their award and have the opportunity to make a short speech.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jane.
No.
What we do in Mandra is we do them in each category as well, like someone else mentioned. So we call them up in categories, but as they come up, they are presented with the certificate of achievement. And then we say one line about each person, and then the actual winner is announced of that category. So there's a bit of fumbling with certificates. So it's like we're taking the certificate of achievement from them and then giving them the award certificate. So there has to be like a better way to do that while acknowledging all the nominees and maybe saying a line about them. How do people give them their certificates afterwards then, or just wondering how people manage that?
I just step in here. We're not involved in presenting those awards on Australia Day like you are, but as an example, last year we changed the way that we did our Australian of the Year awards. In previous years, we've had everybody we have a short list, so it comes down to 4 finalists in each category, and each person previously has come up onto the stage, get the certificate, shake their hands, stand it, and it's a bit, yeah, it's okay, but it's we decided there's better ways to do it. So we actually have a pre-event where we have a briefing with those people, and they in your case, it would be the mayor or shire president. We have the governor comes and or the premier, and we've presented the finalist certificates at that pre-event. So it's on the same day. They come along an hour earlier. They get to say hello. We take all the photos individually with each of those, and then when it gets to the ceremony, we just announce the winner. So if that's an option that you can, do those certificates beforehand. I understand that would be difficult when you're having an 8 o'clock breakfast, but for those of you that maybe have got different setup, that's the way that we've done it. But all options are good. So if anybody's got any other suggestions. Just Shane, in Esperance, do you have that recognition on the your Sundowner? So you have that event there. Do they all then come on Australia Day as well?
Yeah, they do. So we can refine that process a little bit. But I was just thinking, hearing the other discussions, that if we don't get the end right and celebrate it well, and we're sort of trying to cut corners to do it, you're really hurting the brand of what you're trying to achieve. So our thinking was, all right, that day is not enough. The Australia Day is not enough. We read out the nominations, and it's a busy day and all that sort of stuff. So we thought, well, let's add another day beforehand where we can relax. All these people are doing great volunteering, stuff around the community together. They chat with each other. It's pretty simple. It's just a little bit of food, a few drinks, and just get the people together. Just a special separate invite to get them together. So to talk about themselves. So that's what my thinking is, or our team's thinking is, that you build that in better, have a better experience, and then they go out and they actually promote the program for us, saying we got invited to council chambers, met these people, and then they say, you should nominate next year or something like. Just trying to build it from that end rather than the hard work it is trying to get nominations every year from the normal process.
Sure, I think. As well, that day is a community day, and so the day when you're going to present the awards, and so unless you've got 100 nominees, that you're going to have to juggle those people around, which I don't think that we've got any councils that have that problem at this stage. You might do in the future, but having everybody come up onto the stage. Personally, I don't see that as the biggest issue. I see that as a benefit, as look at all these great people, what they're doing for our community, and if it means you have to juggle around a few certificates, then maybe. Personally, I probably wouldn't have all the nominees stand there and then call one out. If it was me, I would probably have them all up, get them all to sit down, and then announce the winner. So that only the winner gets up, and they can look grumpy if they want to, sitting in their seat, but they're not going to look, that doesn't make them feel embarrassed while they're standing on a stage and somebody gets called out. Because when you're at the Oscars, they're used to that, whereas, people in the community are not used to being called up on the stage, getting excited, and then, that's a shame, I'm a loser. You just present it in a different way so that everybody's brilliant, and thanks so much for your contribution. And this time, this is who the recipient is. If it gets to a stage where you do have 100 nominations, then shortlist a final. so that you maybe only, get 6 people or something up. That's personal thought. It's not a.
Everyone's a winner, I was just saying. So honestly, if you didn't have an actual winner, these awards would still be just as successful, in my opinion. I know we have to. So our thinking is let's celebrate everyone. So you've got to try and find a way to do that, whether it's before the actual day or on the day. It's up to local governments, I think.
Yeah, I guess all our communities benefit from the work that these people do. So, in small ways, it just, so I don't think it hurts us to give them a little bit of recognition, a bit of a pat on the back, glass of wine or a cup of tea and a little something to eat. I think it's a good thing to do. And it's great for your show presidents too, and your mayors. Great photo opportunity. Don't tell me they don't love that. Okay. Just looking at any other questions that are on there that might be able to. Okay, Kelsey, where's Kelsey? Okay. Oh, there you go. Talking about 30 nominations. That's pretty good. Across the 4 categories, but in 4 towns.
Sorry, Anne-Marie, there's just a question.
Oh, yeah.
Someone raised their hand. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry. Who had the question? Who raised their hand?
I think you may need to unmute your microphone.
Hello.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
There we go.
I just wanted to ask quickly when the toolkit will be released.
The toolkit's actually on the website now. So the draft is there. You can have a look at it. We'll send everybody after this. We'll send you all a link again so that you can see it. But it will be updated from these discussions and some of the additional things that we put in there. But the initial one is there, so you can have a look at it. It's pretty comprehensive. It's got a timeline. It's got ideas and. But we will amend it. I haven't done anything to it yet this year, but we've certainly got your feedback from the surveys and also then from today. We'll try and incorporate some of those into that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
But and from today, when you go away from this, and you think, oh, I should have said that, or what about this? Just come back to us. Let us know, and we'll try and do whatever we can. We want this to work. We know it's important. We know that people value it, and we want it to work for you. So whatever we can do to try and help you, we will. But although we can do the generic overall things, there has to be more that you can do locally, because it's your local community. It's recognise your citizens in your community, and you know who they are. We don't know who they are. We might see something in the paper sometimes, and we scout for nominations too, and we try and put those into you. And we do go through the nominations. It was fortunate that the Australian of the Year nominations are run immediately before the Citizen of the Year nominations, and so we go through all of those and see if there's people in there that we think are better suited to Community Citizen of the Year. And so we forward those into the nominations as well. But best of who's doing what in your community, and so we have to rely on what you can bring to it too. And as I say, nominate yourselves, not nominate yourself, but put nominations in for people that you see. I don't think there's a conflict as long as it's not people that are sitting on the selection panel that are submitting nominations. Then I don't see it as a conflict. You all live in your communities or work in your communities, so you know what's happening. So it's.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Just one more question from Kelsey. I think she's from City of Melville. She asked if we can organize another Zoom session during the nomination process to check in or share ideas among council on how they can increase nomination and just see how everyone's doing.
Sure, absolutely. We'll take advice on when you think that's best. We'll certainly share things as they come through, but we're certainly happy to do that at any time. And if probably maybe 2 weeks into the nomination period, if that's, or is that not, is that too late for people? You know, so say mid-September. And it still gives you 6 weeks or so to still be considering things. Well, look, we'll take advice on it from everyone and input, and but that seems like a good time. I don't think. So I'm happy to do it, but I don't want you to think that you feel obliged that you have to come into these sessions if there's nothing that you need information on. But if there, certainly we're here to help. So I think about 2 weeks in, probably a good idea. Mid-September, good. Yep, good. Okay. Well, I think okay. All right.
Maybe Marie. Yep. Sorry, before we close, because Anne Fitz, she's been very generous. She shared her email, and maybe if any of the councils would like to share their email, just to share some ideas as well. If you're happy to do that, you can share it in the chat room.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks, Anne. Anne's an expert. You did this at Rockingham as well, so so yeah, and it's great to that people can share their experiences. So and I know that I'm singling you out, but Amanda, you've been involved for a long time as well. So I think we've probably been in it the same amount of time. So
yes, I've actually just come back to it after doing a secondment for a year, so I'm getting a refresher.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. We've got a whole new website for you, just for you. So I think that those few enhancements that we have will be great. Let's just try and any questions that you have, just come through to us straight away, and we'll try and answer them quickly. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. I think that's Amanda Cassick. Great. Thanks for sharing your email addresses on here. Thanks for signing in. Thanks for your time, and have a great day. And I hope the program goes well for everybody. Okay.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.